having me on your platform.
You my baby.
I'm so proud of you.
I love you.
So proud of you for many things, but for taking the initiative and for having enough courage to write a book. I haven't read it yet. I know it's intense, but before I get into it, because it just came yesterday. But before I really get into it, I'm glad too. But I still wanted to have the conversation. And like I told Deborah before we had the Zoom, I wanted to call her first to make sure her and I were good. Goal. I believe this is your goal too, T. Our goal is to tell the story, but ultimately to make sure people heal when they see this. Definitely. And we want to make sure our vibes are right, our spirit is right, our intentions are right, and that we are good enough to tell the story in love and truth, so that people can feel it and heal it.
Yes.
I was saying, and so, gosh, where do I begin?
Well, Tim, if I could just interject right there. Being that you want to mention, and we did just speak recently, this is my first cousin. This is T and I are sisters. And for those who don't know, but again, thanks for tuning in. For those who don't know, T and myself are sisters. My name is Deborah. This is LaTishia. And this is our first cousin. Our mothers are sisters, right? And they were very close. When my mom has went on to be with God, be with the Lord, but when she was here, they were very, very close. Some people even called them twins, even though his mom, Aunt Teresa, actually has a twin. So, we have grown up together. I know there's a little bit of an age gap because, like T indicated, you had the older ones, and then we came a little later, but we all were really close, living in the same neighborhood. So the fact that we're healing, coming and mending, and it's just what it's supposed to be. And I'm grateful that God allowed for that to happen. But so I wanted to mention that because, Cuz said, let's talk it out. And the way I feel is all is well and all is forgiven. We have unpacked a lot, over these past. And a lot of people, I just want to be a little clear. A lot of people know that, there was public, I guess you say, disputes going on or misunderstandings, and divisiveness, with our family when things came open and more detailed with what happened with our cousin Tim, right? And it was traumatic on many levels, because we're going to go into that even more. The trauma and the direct abuse, it trickles down to the people that care about you, the people who are in your family, in your close-knit family, in your unit, in your circle, and it just starts to affect and impact and ricochet like a domino effect. And so we've been having those conversations, right? But Tim, if you could say, as far as from your perspective, why did you feel the need to say you wanted to make sure we were good? I want us to be clear on that.
Yeah, that's good, Deborah. That's good. I'm glad you asked. First of all, because I love you.
Yes.
Because I love you.
Yes.
And it is mutual.
We love you too, baby.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to see.
I know.
I know.
Because I love you, Deborah. And I know that in 2020, when all of that went down, and I did tell my story, I think it was shocking to all of us. And we didn't know how, well, not the story, but the fact that I went public with it. Yeah, I think when I did tell my story, I think it was a lot to process. We didn't really know how to deal with it. So our first emotion was rage, anger, hurt, all of that mixed in one. But here we are. That's
right. Oh Timmy, my God. I want you to go into what caused us to be divided.
Ooh.
Go ahead and tell the story, sir.
I'm just trying to figure out, when did it start?
I think it started with the first forbidden fruit you don't do. Rip it.
When I was molested?
Yes.
Okay, let's go there.
That's the beginning.
And God help me not to call names.
Yeah, we're gonna try not to call names, but please, I want everybody to, just forgive us if anything slips, because I'm gonna be honest with you. this has been a lot. Yes, we are healing, but we are still processing. We're human beings, right? So just to let you know in advance, we don't intend on necessarily naming names. Some people know the names already. We may use initials and abbreviations, but please bear with us. I just want to put that out as a disclaimer.
It's hard to tell the story without,
You don't have to tell the details of the issue, but please, because then from your view, it will give clarity, because we sound like we're talking around something.
Okay.
I want us to
Got
be
it.
clear.
Got it.
Time to dive
Don't be
in.
afraid, because my book ain't afraid.
Not afraid. Not afraid. Not afraid at all.
There you go.
Because I've yeah. So if I could recall, I want to say, well, I come from a single parent home. Of course, my mom was a single mom, single parent. My dad and her never married, but so she was my guardian at the time, raising two boys, myself and my younger brother, who's under me, and doing her very best. I love my mom, doing her very best to raise two boys. And her best included not only providing, but also making sure we were in church. Okay. And so, of course, her feeling like she did the right thing by having us in church, the church we're under, sadly, at the age of about, I want to say between 11 and 13. It was somewhere in there. I cannot remember exactly when, but still a baby.
Yeah.
From 11 and 13, he was the assistant pastor at the time, right? He was the godfather to most of the, you hear me? You remember, he was the godfather to most, if not all, of the boys in that church, because most of the boys come from single parent homes. They came from single parent homes.
Right.
So he became our
God.
Our father, And so I remember one, weekend, he took the boys on a trip to the Poconos. That was their thing. Remember the Poconos? They would always take the boy. He would always take the boys on a trip. This particular time when I went, when it came, the trip was fun. As I recall, it was a fun trip in the beginning. I was a kid doing boy things, and climbing mountains and doing all those things that boys do. But when it came time to go to bed, everybody, all the rest of the boys, I remember this guy, it was yesterday. The boys that were there, they all got to choose their bed where they would get to sleep, their bunks. That's what it was. They all got to choose where they would sleep, but I didn't. He told me I would sleep with him in his bed. So it's me, him. He was on the end, I was in the middle, and another boy, you all know who I'm talking about, I'm not gonna say it publicly. There's another one on the other end. We all slept in the same bed. Somewhere, I would say, the sun was coming up. I remember it was like beginning to be daylight. I felt hands going down my pants. I was on my stomach. I was laying flat on my stomach, and I felt hands going down my back and starting to massage my buttocks.